Welcome to ETH Daily, a daily briefing on the latest in Ethereum. Optimism teases a potential governance launch, the Ethereum Foundation publishes a financial report, Truffle releases an extension for VS Code, and the Sandbox is looking to raise a $400 million funding round. All this and more from ETH Daily starts right now. Optimism published a blog post that teases a new chapter driven by community ownership and governance. A path to decentralization has long been part of the project's vision, which means the launch of a DAO and governance token is inevitable. Optimism's EVM-compatible release has been live on mainnet since October of 2021. The chain's accomplishments include $17 billion in transaction volume, $900 million in bridged Ether, and over 300,000 unique addresses. The team is currently working on the next iteration of the protocol called Optimism Bedrock. It will introduce an EVM equivalent thought proof called Canon. Bedrock is also expected to reduce Optimism's codebase down to roughly 300 lines of code. The Ethereum Foundation published a report outlining its spending and current holdings, marking the first time a financial report is released by the foundation. As of March 31, 2022, the Ethereum Foundation held approximately $1.6 billion worth of assets in its treasury. Roughly 80% of the assets are held in Ether, worth about $1.3 billion. It also holds $300 million in non-crypto investments and assets. In 2021, the Ethereum Foundation spent a total of $48 million, split between across Layer 1, Layer 2, Applied Zero Knowledge, developer platforms, community development, and operations. The Ethereum Foundation also allocated $20 million in external spending for grants, delegated domain allocators, and third-party funding. The foundation was initially funded via the Ethereum ICO in 2014, of which it had received 9.9% of Ethereum supply to kickstart development. The Ethereum Foundation also partnered with ETH Staker to back a 350,000 DAI quadratic funding round for public goods in the Ethereum staking community. Quadratic funding is a mechanism that rewards projects weighted by the number of contributions over contribution value. The round is being run on CLR.fund, marking the largest initial matching pool for a quadratic funding round using the CLR protocol. The round will be done exclusively on Arbitrum's Layer 2 network. Free and open source projects related to Ethereum staking can apply by visiting qf.ethstaker.cc to register. Supporters can also make contributions in the form of DAI starting May 6. Ethereum development tooling platform Truffle announced the release of an extension for Visual Studio Code. Microsoft VS Code users can now build, debug, and deploy smart contracts to Infura using Truffle Suite. The extension removes the need to switch to command line, and users can instead use the native VS Code debugger to debug transactions. VS Code is a free open source editor by Microsoft available on all major operating systems. The Truffle for VS Code extension was initially started by Microsoft as the blockchain development kit for Ethereum, in which management of the extension was later transitioned to the Truffle team. It's currently available as a download on the VS Code marketplace. And lastly, the Sandbox is looking to raise $400 million at a valuation of over $4 billion, according to Bloomberg. Last November, the Sandbox raised a $93 million Series B funding round led by SoftBank. The Sandbox is a metaverse built on Ethereum that allows users to buy, sell, trade, and own digital assets in the form of NFTs. Notably, Adidas, Warner Music Group, and HSBC are among the companies that have purchased plots of land on the platform. This has been a roundup of today's top news stories from ETH Daily. Please support this podcast by subscribing and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts. Join us on Twitter at ETH Daily and subscribe to our newsletter at newsletter.ether.fm. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.